Okay, it's been a while since I've actually gone to a movie theater and saw a movie. Or seen a movie, sorry. So, approximately one half of this book was what I saw on film. It's my mother's copy. Yes, my mother's a Twilight fan. And I can safely say with Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 of 2, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard at a movie in my entire life. This is so bizarre and over the top and filmed in such an almost atrocious manner. It feels like I'm watching an episode of The Hills. They do small sequences of dialogue and then like a musical montage. Now, if you've seen the trailers, you pretty much know it deals with wedding and her pregnancy. And literally, that is your whole movie. It more or less begins with her getting married. And this ends up being one of your first most hilarious moments. She has a dream about her wedding, and then she pictures everyone there is dead, and they're in a giant stack, and on top it's her and Edward. So yeah, she has a dream about a wedding cake made out of the bodies of all of her friends. The wedding itself is not bad, they do some of the pretty standard wedding shtick leading up to it. Not horrible, not, nothing amazing. When everyone does their speeches, they come off like wedding speeches where people are trying to be funny, but they're just kind of awkward. And then they go on their honeymoon. A small private island off of Rio de Janeiro. And then, of course, they engage in the things that women and men engage upon in the night of the honeymoon. Edward being a vampire, he has enhanced strength, and that leads to your second most comedic moment, which is him destroying the bed. And I mean destroying the bed. And then Bella's got bruises all up and down her. So miraculously, she's pregnant. And now the bulk of the movie is them dealing with the pregnancy, which is some sort of potential vampire-human hybrid that's not supposed to exist and can't actually happen, that's actually killing her until they find out what the baby actually wants. Being a vampire baby, you can therefore assume they then begin to give her white styrofoam cups with little straws that are filled with blood. Yes, she's actually drinking blood from white styrofoam cups using straws. Yeah, so for those of you who know this terminology, it's a polar pop full of blood. And while that's going on, Jacob, the pig-nosed wolf boy, who gets shirtless right off the top. It's like they went, "Oh, you came to see Twilight? Oh, okay." Ah, Jacob, angry, shirt off. So they're in a turmoil with, his pack and how they want to, since the process is going to kill Bella, and they want to kill the Cullens, and they're kind of staking out the place on the Cullens. So it's like this nice big fight, and the last one, was it the Eclipse, or whatever the last one was, it had a decent amount of fighting, and it was actually pretty solid, and it made sense, and it was good, and it was exciting, and it was entertaining. This one, not so much. This one was just kind of weird and kitschy and cheap and cheesy. And when they finally go through the birthing process, and they try to cut her open, and they're having issues with that. So that leads to one of the most uproarious moments of this entire thing. Edward decides to kind of bite at her stomach as well as kind of tear at her to perform a cesarean section. I'm pretty sure these things, while written out, probably seem so much more epic, and in this version they just seemed so bizarre and over the top. And of course now, Bella having gone through the process of being near death, they take out a giant syringe full of Edward's venom, which looks gray and clumpy. And then you sort of have, the final battle. While this is going on, Jacob decides to imprint on Bella and Edward's daughter, who at this time is like, minutes old. So that way then the werewolves can't fight the Cullens anymore or destroy the baby. So the huge massive fight we thought we were going to see, that like a whole movie that was building towards, they kind of cop out with. And then ends with Bella finally becoming a vampire. Which is what she wanted in the very first movie. From what I was told, the second part of this, is going to be just the Volturi. Those were the evil vampires just in black with Dakota Fanning. So at least in part 2 there'll be Dakota Fanning. Hopefully the dialogue gets better, and hopefully they make it action-packed. As opposed to weird, kind of uncomfortable comedy with occasional musical montages that just made almost no sense. But, you know what? What really made this an awesome experience was the person who brought their child, who constantly made comments throughout the whole movie, and people behind us who constantly made comments throughout the whole movie. I was wondering how the dad, being like the only cop, didn't think anything's wrong with, his daughter's boyfriend. You never see him during the day. She's really, really white. Appears to be really strong. Why you never see him come into the front door. Occasionally you hear a lot of banging sounds outside your house as people are jumping into your window. If you're a fan of Twilight, you're going to see it because you want to see it anyways. If you're someone who's going to get drugged to go see it, just remember, it's only like 2 hours long, and you're going to laugh most of the way through it.